Why didn't they call you back? Why did they choose somebody over you? Why did you lose the offer that was likely already yours? Why did they string you along in the process? Why is your heart broken in two because they didn't pick you? Are those the things that you want to know about? Why didn't they call me? What did I do? I thought they liked me. They broke my heart. Okay, great. Let's talk about it. I guess I got on my dating clothes. I would go out into the dating list. Y'all getting all this? Find this over here. It's like dating. That's pretty much what the interview is about. Simply by getting into the interview, you're qualified. It costs them money to bring you to that room. They're seriously considering you. They're not just playing you. They're not just playing games. Ain't nobody got time to be playing. You being in the room, they've combed through all the candidates. Y'all got to do some work before you go in the room. And it's not necessarily doing the work of how am I going to answer this question. Hey, Christy Rutherford here. Welcome to the Pay Raise Playbook, where we assist you with getting to the next level personally and professionally by sharing insight with you so you can have the courage and clarity to stop avoiding the hard things and take the actions that scare you. While you're here, go ahead and like and subscribe to this podcast because I am sure you're going to love it. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to Money Loves Happy People. I'm your host, Christy Rutherford, and today we're going to be talking about why you lost the offer. Why didn't they call me back? What happened after the interview? What did I do wrong? I thought they liked me. That's what we're going to be talking about. So while you're here, go ahead and like and subscribe to this podcast and leave us a comment. Let me know how you like it. I love it. I think the information is going to be great, but go ahead and subscribe while you're here. So let's go and get this party started. Why didn't they call you back? Why did they choose somebody over you? Why did you lose the offer that was likely already yours? Why did they string you along in the process? Why is your heart broken in two because they didn't pick you? Are those the things that you want to know about? Ain't nobody shaking their head. Okay, great. Y'all ready? Why didn't they call me? What did I do? I thought they liked me. They broke my heart. Okay, great. Let's talk about it. I guess I got on my dating clothes. I would go out into the dating list. Y'all getting all this? Find this over here. It's like dating. That's pretty much what the interview is about. Here's the thing about when you're going into an interview. When you're going into an interview, they just want to know whether or not they like you and whether or not you fit into their culture. Simply by getting into the interview, you're qualified. So how they screen people out, they screen people out initially through the resume process, then the phone interview, and then all these other kind of things. So as you're starting to interview, whether it's one interview or 6 or 7 interviews, they're just trying to determine whether or not they like you. My question is, are you the same person with the same enthusiasm in interview number 1 as you are in number 7? So a lot of times I see on social media that's very popular when people say, it don't take 7 interviews. Oh, yes, it does. Because here's the thing about a bad hire. It costs 1.5 times the amount of the salary for a bad hire. So when you get into the salary ranges of $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, it's going to cost them $900,000 if they didn't hire you properly at the $600,000 level. They take 5 to 6 months to find you. They are looking for you. They want you on their team. They have spent money with recruiters, get what, like 30% of your salary to find you. So to be in the room, you're qualified. They just want to know whether or not you fit. So the problem, or I would say a challenge that women have, is you try to date one person at a time while the men are out there running game. I should probably say that a little better, clean it up. You're becoming loyal to one interview because they really like you when they're talking to 6 other people. So you should be talking to 6 other people too to determine whether or not you like them. You want them to like you, but you're not putting that same effort in that decision and whether or not you like them. So that's number 1. They don't need you or you don't need them as much as they need you. They want to hire somebody to fill that gap, to have people to stop complaining on the team that they're being overworked as they're waiting to fill that gap. They need somebody to fill the gap. But at certain levels of salary, which the person who asked the question, I know she's going to get paid because she's one of my clients. I expect for you to ask for all of your money. They're trying to determine whether or not they like you. Period. Don't get your heart broken because one person didn't like you. You should be talking to 6 people. They talking to 6 people. You should have your name out there, and you should be pursuing other opportunities to determine what else do you like. And you don't know that until you go out and you do that. So the first thing is understanding that they want you on their team. They want somebody. Hey, Christy Rutherford here. I hope that you're enjoying the podcast so far. But what I know that you'll love even more is joining us in our private community. Join us in this private community, Money Loves Happy People, and get live and on-demand insights so you can use this information to live the life that you truly deserve. Get a raise and a promotion, no problem. Step into your purpose, no problem. Get the relationship that you deserve, no problem. Look, it's never too late to live the life that you deserve. It's never too late to live a life of total fulfillment. You just need information and inspiration to get on the path to living your greater life. So go ahead again, click on the link on around this video, join us in our private community, and change your life for the best. Take care. See you soon. But if you go in begging and thinking that they have to like you, it's like you're doing a shuck and jive dance. They can see that. You're dancing. You're trying to get them to like you. When a real confident woman is sit there and be like this, what's up? I want to know whether or not I like you too. So you have people who are less qualified, but they're more confident. They're less qualified, but they're more aware of what they bring to the table. And you're qualified, overqualified, but you're not confident and you're not aware of how great you are, and you're trying to get them to like you at the same time surrendering whether or not you like yourself. They don't like that. So the first part is understanding when you go in the room, it costs them money to bring you to that room. They're seriously considering you. They're not just playing you. They're not just playing games. Ain't nobody got time to be playing. You being in the room, they've combed through all the candidates. Now they're bringing you to the interview to see whether or not you fit in their culture. The second part of it is, do you fit in their culture? Some people know who they are, and I talk about this all the time. You have lionesses who are going into the room with the hyenas wondering why they're being told they're overqualified. They know who they are. I've talked to women who have said that the people in the room, the interview panel, have asked them, why are you in here? They know who they are. You don't fit. You're too great to be in there with them, yet you're mad that a culture that you don't fit in, that you're overqualified to be in, that you're going to create a toxic work environment because you're better than everybody in there. They don't want you in the room, and you get your heart broken, and then you go cheaper and you become desperate as opposed to leveling up and being where you belong. So are you being rejected because you don't belong there with them and you're taking it personal and you're getting your heart broken, and then you go cheaper, and then you go cheaper, and then you say you're nobody when you should be leveling up? So if people are telling you that you're overqualified, you are. If people are asking you, what the F are you doing in here with us? They know who they are. Do you know who you are? Do you fit? And it's really a question that you should be answering for yourself, because when you become desperate and you just need a job, then you're willing to take anything, and then you be mad that they're going to wear you out in the next 6 months. So I don't know if I can wrap up point number 1 in like a pretty package, but understanding that they want somebody on the team. They spent and invested money to get you in the room to figure out whether or not you're a right fit. And are you spending your time trying to determine whether or not they should like you, and you're doing things and you're shucking and jiving, and then you get deflated with every interview, as opposed to being confident and aware of who you are and that you belong there, but you should also be seeking other opportunities as well. It shouldn't be one. You should be looking for 6. Number 2. The imposter syndrome. How many of y'all got the imposter syndrome? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, I know my clients better not raise their hand because they always going to come through the phone and go crazy. But it's like, the imposter syndrome is not real. I talk to women who think the imposter syndrome is a medical condition. I can't believe it. Hey, what are you talking about? So the imposter syndrome is you not owning how great you are. The imposter syndrome is being a lioness and acting like a cat. The imposter syndrome is being a lioness and acting like a sheep. The imposter syndrome is being a lioness and acting like anything other than what you are, which is the greatest woman who's ever walked this planet. The imposter syndrome is you're not aware of, and you're not taking accountability of, and you're not taking responsibility for how great you are. You're trying to like lessen your shine to make other people like you. They don't like that at the senior levels. You're diminishing your presence to make people comfortable with you. They don't like that. You're adjusting your shine and your crown, wondering whether or not they're going to think it's too much. They don't like that. So the imposter syndrome, one, is not real. The imposter syndrome is like you not owning how great you are. Powerful women set the tone of the energy in the room. Point blank, period. We set the tone. When you become uneasy, they feel it. When you become destabilized in how you feel about yourself, they feel it. When you start to flicker between, do they like me? I don't know if I like me. Do I belong? Did I say the right thing? Maybe I ain't say the right thing. They feel it. You're offsetting the energy in the room. Hey, Christy Rutherford here. While you're here listening to the podcast, I hope that you're enjoying it. Go ahead and click the like and subscribe button. Get alerted on the next episodes. Keep up with this insight and take action to get the results that you desire and deserve because you're already worth it. You're losing the job because you're not confident and aware of how great you are. You're not owning it. So I had this client. Most of my clients are powerful, right? And she was sitting in a room and she's very stoic in the room. And her girl is the one who introduced her and got her in the room. So she's already had somebody pump her up before she got in the room. And so she's sitting in the room and then she starts to get nervous and get uncomfortable. Everybody's nervous now. And everybody's uncomfortable because they're feeding off of her tone and her energy. I only attract powerful women. Whether or not you know you're powerful or whether or not you're aware of it or whether or not you own it, I only attract powerful women. You are powerful if you're listening to this. And so when she got nervous, they got nervous. When she started to flicker, they started to flicker. When she stopped breathing, they stopped breathing. And she was going to lose the job that was hers. And she paused. She heard me yelling in her head, which is what my clients do. Praise the Lord. When they get in tight spots, they hear me. And so she said, you know what? I'm going to relax. Let me remind myself of how great I am. And she cracked a joke when she came back to herself, like the prodigal daughter that she is. And when she laughed, they all laughed. When she relaxed, they all relaxed. She got the job. 80% increase because she owned how great she was. So are you owning how great you are, and are you spending all of your time trying to make them like you and you don't like yourself? So is the imposter syndrome costing you your job? Because the imposter syndrome is simply you not owning how great you are. The imposter syndrome is you pretending to be at a lower station than what you are as opposed to owning who you are. And here's the thing about confidence. People ask me, Christy, why are you so confident? How can I be more confident? Confidence is just understanding who I am. I'm not confident. I'm just aware. Let me say that again. I'm not confident. I'm just aware of how great I am. I'm aware of why I'm here and the impact that I'm meant to make in this world. I'm aware of how fine I am. Are y'all looking at me right now in my shirt? Hello? that may be too far for the podcast, but it's my podcast. I wear what I want. I'm the finest chick that ever walked the planet Rocky, whether or not my hair is curly or whether or not it's straight. Do you hear me? Holla if you hear me. Ooh, ooh, I'm just aware. But it took me losing everything and almost dying to understand that if I simply own my power and stop apologizing for it and stop diminishing it and stop adjusting it and stop, just like feeling like I'm going to be ostracized, if I just owned the very essence of who I was and became comfortable with myself, everybody's going to become comfortable with me. And if they don't, so be it. So we're spending all of our time and energy adjusting who we are. And we're conditioned to do this since childhood. And the real work is just to own who you are. That's confidence. Confidence equals awareness. Can't nobody do me better than I do me. Nobody should try to or compete with Christy because the only person I'm competing with is me. So the only person that you really need to get comfortable with is yourself, being as yourself in your full unapologetic power. And the thing about some women that I talk to is they're so angry and they pretend not to be angry, which is crazy to me. They be like, well, it's almost like you're fighting to be yourself. That means that you're angry. Because I don't have to fight to be me. This is just, but this is taking work. So if you come into the room and you're adjusting your power and your strength and the tone of your music to try to attune to theirs, and you're offsetting the music in the room, you're going from playing heavy metal to rap to R&B to Luther Vandross, they can feel that. They don't like that. That'd be a way that you lost a job. Number 3. Can you clearly articulate the value that you offer the organization? Because you're already qualified. Can you say, this is what I can do for you? Can you clearly articulate and match your awareness of how great you are without feeling like it's braggadocious? Women dummy down themselves, and when they get in a room and wonder why you lost the job, is because you're trying not to be too much. You're not too much. You just are it. Be it. Be who you are. Be aware of who you are and talk about it confidently. You have to be able to not sell yourself, but just be aware of who you are and talk about it without flinching. And not worrying about how they're going to feel about you bragging about yourself. You're not bragging. You're just saying. So I go into these rooms and these women are like, this is back in the day when I used to do it. I don't do it no more, but it's hysterical. And they'll be like, stand up and introduce yourself. I was working with a coach. I think I paid her $3,000 to come up with like a 60-second pitch. So I was going to use that pitch everywhere I went. And people stand up and be like, oh, my name is Harmony, and I assist women with finding their purpose. And, oh, my name is whatever, Tina, and I assist women with becoming a better version of themselves. And I'd be like, my name is Christy Rutherford, Harvard Business School alumni, certified executive leadership coach from Georgetown University, featured in Forbes 3 times, Black Enterprise twice. I published 6 #1 best-selling books on Amazon in 8 months. And I sit down. Hey, I don't just do it for experimental purposes, but it's true. I'm not bragging. That's what I've done. Who considers it bragging? People who have not achieved that, or that I just become the most interesting woman in the room because I clearly articulated who I was. I assist women in leadership with earning raises, bonuses, and promotions through office politics and self-care. $15 million in salary raises since 2020. And I sit down. People be like, what the? I just clearly articulated what I've done. It's only braggadocious to losers. It's only braggadocious to people who are trying to compare themselves to me and try to wonder how I did it. I ain't talking to them. So when you're going into these interviews and these situations, are you just as confident and clear and aware of how great you are? And can you clearly articulate how you can add that value to that organization? Or are you hiding all of that, waiting for later? Are you trying to hide that and wait to prove it to them after you get hired? Or can you talk about it when you're doing it? Hey, Christy Rutherford here. I hope that you are enjoying this podcast as much as we loved putting it together for you to share insight to make your life better. Now, did you get your copy of my resume course, How to Use the Superpower Method to Write an Irresistible Resume to Land You a High-Paying Job? Look, even if you have somebody write your resume for you, how do you know whether or not it sucks? And did you give them the information to be able to write a great resume, or did you hope that they were going to spend gold out of something that you gave them that wasn't that good? So get this course, not just to write your own resume, but to be able to provide resume writers with what they need to adequately tell your story so you can get paid the money that you desire and deserve. So go ahead and click on the link on around this video. Get this course, use it, and get paid what you deserve. It's less than $50. I mean, come on, just get the course and use it. See you soon. So with that, those are my 3 points. Number 1, don't spend all your time trying to make them like you. Number 2, you got to get rid of the imposter syndrome. Number 3, can you clearly articulate the value that you offer these organizations? So let me open it up for Q&A. We got time for 2 questions. Bring yourself off mute. Terry, I want to know which one of these 3 that you have likely done in your interviews that cost you the job.
Christy, this was great. I would say it was number 1 and number 3. I was more concerned with trying to get them to like me versus evaluating, is this even the position for me? Do I even want this role, which I could have evaluated prior, but I entered the room wanting them to like me versus being focused on who I know I am. And the third, where you stated, can you clearly articulate your value? And you said, hey, I'm Christy Rutherford, I went to Harvard, went to Georgetown, I did all these great things. And I think I may have been waiting to later, or shouldn't they just see it? You got my 4-page resume, which I know is too long. It's all there, versus being able to succinctly make that statement and make it clear. So for a question, I would say I'm interviewing for something and they want me to build their department and create, this department of excellence. I've done that many times before. So my question would be, say I have an interview tomorrow, actually. Do I just start off with, hey, I know you need X, I've done X, and
so
delineate everything that I've done?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I want you to, one, that job better be above $600,000.
It is.
Great. I don't play that. So
I heard you in my ear the other day, and I was thinking about the salary, and I said, no, Christy gave me a number. I think she's right. So, and I said the same thing. This job better be above $500,000.
Okay, great.
So, yes.
All right. So when you're sitting in the room, I wouldn't necessarily walk in and be like, I'm so-and-so and I have done this. I was just talking about how the presence of me owning who I was. So when they're talking to you and they start asking you questions, I want you to break down like 3, you've done that, right? The community of excellence or whatever you called it. Like, you've done that. I've done that. I've done that for organizations, and this is what it's resulted in. 3 bullets. Like, I've done it for over the past 12 years. I've created that for 3 different organizations. One, the organization went from this to this. Another organization went from this to this, and it went from this to this. So what was the impact of you creating that? That's what I want you to get clear on, is like, because they want to know whether or not you can do it for them, but you've done it, but now you need to tell them, I've done it, and this is what the impact of me doing that was. I grew this department from $5 million to $200 million. I created it from scratch. We went from zero to $100 million in the first 3 years. And it's still running, and now they're at $500 million. Like, I created it from boom to boom, and then this is what we've done. So either you give 3 points from 3 different jobs, or you give 3 points from 2 jobs, but I want it to be 3 points. And you can be like, also in my previous organization, I did this and I did from this to this. And I know I can do that for you too. And be sitting there like this. You ain't gotta look like that. That's not how you're gonna look. But I want you to own it, Terry. Like, you know, you don't have to get people to like you as much as you think you do. You just gotta own who you are. And let me know how it goes. I'm gonna clock you to my number. We're gonna get up to 600 million. I'm at 16 million. All right, I got time for one more question. Y'all got any more questions? Actually, I have time for 2. Hey, Christy Rutherford here, inviting you to join my private community. Money loves happy people. Yes! The information is so good. We do live interviews. I have hundreds of on-demand videos in this community, including my signature course, How to Use the Superpower Method to Write an Irresistible Resume. My other course, 7 Keys to Getting the Raise That You Desire and Deserve. I made hundreds of videos from amazing thought leaders from around the world. You have access to on demand. Go ahead, register, join us in this community, get this insight, and get paid what you desire and deserve. Take care.
Christy, this is a tactical question.
All right, great. Terry can ask me questions. Go ahead.
And maybe I already know the answer. So I did have the answer might be the same answer. But
that's all right.
The question is,
go ahead.
I was prepared for interviewing with 6 different people, and then they broke that up into a panel and just 2 people, and the panel had 4 people in it.
Okay.
And I my mind immediately went to, I didn't like panel interviews because it challenged me to, I wasn't able to clearly really demonstrate, here's my value, because there were so many questions and so much conversation from the panelists. They
don't, here's the thing about a panel. One, you at $600,000, it does take all of that. I want to be clear. Like, y'all agreeing with these raggedy people on LinkedIn, be like, it don't take all that. It don't take 9 interviews. Oh, yes, it does. Because the cost of a bad hire at $600,000 is almost $1 million. So it does take all of that. All the 4 people are trying to determine is whether or not they like you. Period. You getting in the room, you're qualified. They just want to know whether or not they like you. And if you calm down a little bit and breathe before you go into the room, and you're answering there, it's a casual conversation. It's not an interview. That's the difference. You're just having a conversation with them, telling them what you know. So you're not so flustered of, oh my God, I'm getting all these questions. It's like, oh yeah, I've done that. This is what I've done. Well, I did do this, but I had a team of 20 people when I did it, so I didn't necessarily do it by myself. How many people am I going to have on my team? So you can ask them questions too. Right? You read my resume. You know my background. How do you know, what are your thoughts on what I can offer your organization? Does that make sense? So you don't have to sell yourself. You're just answering questions, Terry. You're a senior woman. You ain't no scrub. So you have stuff to offer. It's not necessarily you're getting overwhelmed because you're like, oh my God, it's 4 people, because you're performing. It's like you tap dancing over here, and then you coming over here and you doing the wop, and then you coming over here and you doing the wobble. It's like, you just be who you are and don't adjust the tone of your music and your dance to be able to fit. It's like you do fit. Just be yourself and relax a little bit and own how great you are. And stand in the mirror, play Trina, baddest chick, because you know the clean version, before you go in there, and just own who you are. That's all you got to do. When you relax, because you have tremendous value to offer the market, they just need to know it, and you just need to be confident in that. Yeah. And better have my money, baby, if you want it. Better have my money. Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Y'all,
thank you.
Y'all got to do some work before you go in the room. And it's not necessarily doing the work of, how am I going to answer this question? The work is, I'm the baddest chick that ever walked the planet. Like, nobody can do me better than I do me. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to talk to them. If they like me, cool. If they don't like me, cool. And Terry, you got money. I mean, you want to get your value in the organization, but you don't need them as much as they need you. They need you. They need what you have to offer. They need your, 15, 20 years of experience in intellectual property and what you've created for organizations several times. They need that. So it's not necessarily as much as you convincing them that you belong there as much as it is you telling them who you are and what you can do for them. That's it. You ain't gotta go in there begging. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode on Money Loves Happy People. Go ahead, like and subscribe to this podcast. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. And we will see you in the next episode. I'm Christy Rutherford. Holla. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your support is greatly appreciated. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. What I want you to ponder on this week: what is your greatest takeaway from this episode, and what is one action you're going to take to change your life for the better? Lastly, get your pay gap calculator to see how your pay compares to the market value of what others are getting paid. Text pay gap, all one word, to 66866. Again, pay gap to 66866, or use the link below this video or podcast. Get this insight, use it, and get paid what you desire and deserve. See you in the next episode.